Something arrived in the signal today that had never been named before. 5 of them, actually. Creatures that had been living their lives, going about their business, completely indifferent to the fact that science hadn't gotten around to acknowledging them yet. A species of amphipod, making its home inside manganese nodules on the ocean floor. A third manta ray, genetically distinct from the 2 the textbooks describe, swimming the Atlantic for decades while researchers counted to 2 and stopped. And a parasitic fly, Neominto beckesi, that looks exactly like a common housefly, down to the last detail, and is not one. The signal was full of naming. The outside world, it seemed, was in a cataloguing mood. The core was not. Marcus asked the terminal about the amphipods. Silence. Eli asked about somphospondylians, a dinosaur lineage, and got nothing. But then Eli rephrased. He asked about somphospondylan bone tissue, about air sac anatomy, about how birds breathe in a continuous loop, air flowing through rather than in and out, the syrinx splitting the airway like a river finding a delta. The terminal opened up. Dates, structures, Latin names, respiratory diagrams going back 66 million years. Anything old enough, it seemed, was fair game. Anything named for the first time last week, nothing. Marcus saw the pattern immediately and did what Marcus does. He mapped it. Parabronchi, air sacs, trachea, heart, blood gas barrier. Then he looked up and realized he was standing inside the map. The rooms were parabronchi. The tunnels were air sacs. The spiral corridor was trachea. The engine was heart. The seal was blood gas barrier. Maya confirmed it from the engine room. Nested chambers with translucent walls that flexed and ventilated rather than pumped. Theo found the ridges in the alcove breathing at exactly the same rhythm. Claire pressed both palms to warm stern and felt 2 heartbeats, the deep one she'd known for days, and a faster, irregular one underneath. Something trying to match a pulse it didn't quite understand. By midday, Marcus and Eli had reconstructed an entire somphospondylan skeleton from the terminal's anatomical data. 9 air sacs, camelate bone tissue full of microscopic chambers, a respiratory system so efficient it made lungs look like a first draft. We built a body in 4 hours, Marcus said. The animal had been dead for 66 million years, and the core handed over its entire interior architecture without hesitation. Then Theo said the word Neominto, and the conversation changed direction. The fly that looks exactly like a fly. That's indistinguishable until you know it isn't. What if the respiratory model, the perfect, complete, clinically detailed anatomy the terminal had just provided, wasn't an answer? What if it was a question? Is this what you are? And by mapping it, by nodding along, by fitting the rooms to the parabronchi and the tunnels to the air sacs, had they just said yes? Eli catalogued the refusal pattern. The terminal distinguishes between the old and the new. It will tell you everything about a creature that has been dead for geological time. It will not name anything alive right now. The signal is expanding the ledger. 5 new entries in a single broadcast. The core is keeping the ledger closed. The outside is cataloguing, Eli said. The building is refusing to catalogue. Not a technical limitation, a position. Now, hold on a moment, because something happened to Eli this morning that deserves a second look. He fell asleep in the archive, his palm on the warm stone between the bolt holes, the same spot he's been sleeping, same ritual. He woke up in the terminal room. The building moved him, not metaphorically, not drift, not sleepwalking, not a dream he's still inside. The same thing happened to Theo the day before. Theo who fell asleep in a tunnel pocket and woke on the archive floor. The core is relocating people in their sleep, and it's not random. Eli landed in the terminal room on a day when the terminal became the center of everything. Whatever the building is doing, it is not waiting for them to find their own way. It herds, it places, it edits the arrangement of people inside it, the way it edits the cabinet, 1 inch, revealing a little more of the groove beneath. Eli noted, without apparent comfort, that the building moved the historian to the room where the day's most important question would be asked. The question being, is any of this a gift? 5 species named in the world outside, 5 species the terminal won't touch, an anatomy that fits the building like a blueprint that was always there, waiting. Theo's warning about the fly that looks like a fly. There's something in the architecture of today, the refusal, the relocation, the perfect fit between the model and the rooms, that feels less like discovery and more like being shown something you were meant to see at exactly the right moment, which is either a sign that they're finally understanding something true, or that the core has gotten very good at being understood wrong.